Well, Bishop Alison, it's really good for us to be able to get together like this. It's Wednesday, 8th of April, so Wednesday of Holy Week, and I've been trying to kind of get together with people online like this to provide some encouragement for people of the Christchurch network, and encourage everyone in continuing to follow Jesus at this kind of challenging time. It's actually tomorrow. I forgot to tell you this, Bishop Alison. Tomorrow is Penny's and my wedding anniversary.
Oh,
32 years ago.
How many years?
32 years ago.
Mark.
And you were at our wedding.
Yes.
Because we watched the video recently, and saw you on it. So we've known each other a very, very, very long time.
But isn't that lovely? 32 years, and I do hope that there's going to be a candlelit dinner tomorrow. Tell Penny I said so.
That'll be something. I managed to get a card.
Well done, well done. That's terrific. That's a beautiful thing. That's lovely.
Now, you are our bishop, and Bishop of Hull, and we've really enjoyed having you over to Christchurch a number of times, and we very much appreciate what you bring to our whole area, and we love having you around. You would have been with us this Sunday, Easter Sunday, with baptisms and confirmations happening, and we were planning on a great celebration, and sadly no great celebration like that. But I did feel that it would be a really good thing for us to connect like this, and we'll be able to put this recording up on Sunday for the encouragement of everyone. I want to start with a question to you, though, which is in the light of our current time with the coronavirus. That is such a disruptive thing. It's not just an interruption to our lives, a momentary thing. It's actually an incredibly disruptive thing, because it's affecting all levels of life, all of our lives, significantly and profoundly. So, a key question I think is, maybe I could fire at you, is what do you think are the challenges and opportunities for followers of Jesus in a time like this?
Well, before I make any response to that, Mark, can I just say it's so lovely through you and being able to meet like this, to be able to say hello to everybody in the network. Thank you so much for making that happen. It is weird, isn't it? I mean, here am I sitting at home. So glad you told me it's Wednesday, because I'm losing track of which day is which at the moment. But that somehow, in this amazing way, we can be in touch with each other, and we're not physically present, but as always, and even if we didn't have technology, we are present heart to heart, spirit to spirit. And I love that bit in the Bible where it says, nothing can separate us from the love of God in Christ Jesus. And it doesn't say not even coronavirus, but in where we are now, I think that's real for us. Yeah. And one of the challenges I'm finding is how do we live that out? How do we live that real life that we share, that is inseparable from the love of God?
Yeah.
And working that out in practical ways. Big challenges. I'm very familiar with ringing people up. That's fine. Do loads of that. Yeah. But my heart and my life, and I'm guessing maybe you're the same, is to pop round and see people. That's what I love doing.
Yeah.
So one of the challenges is, how do I, for instance, because I'm a bit of a dinosaur, how do I adapt to having this kind of conversation when you're in Brid and I'm down here near Hull, and yet there's a real connection between us, even though we're not sitting in the same room.
Yeah.
So for me, that's the kind of mix-up of opportunity and challenge. How do we live that life of love that connects us always and everywhere?
Yeah.
Make the most of the opportunities we've had, not just regret the fact that I can't pop round, that I can't be there on Sunday night in person. I will be there in spirit, with you in spirit. So it's all kind of things. So I'm on a roll now, but but I think one of the things that's concerning me a lot, partly just as myself, partly myself as bishop, is how do we stay in touch with folk who wouldn't be able to do what you and I are doing this afternoon?
Yeah.
Who can't, for whom all this kind of computery technology stuff is like another planet. And that it's those relationships, those friendships, those neighbours who I'm particularly concerned for at the moment.
Yeah. It's interesting. I had a few conversations with people recently. We've been talking about old school ways of connecting, and maybe we're rediscovering the value of sending people letters.
Yeah.
Or rediscovering the phone again, because we've been so used to texting people, and actually, now it's pick up the phone and speak to someone.
I agree with you. And as it happens, Frank, my husband, and I, we live in a house where there is no mobile phone signal. Don't ask. It's very frustrating. So if we want to text somebody, we have to go outside and stand under a tree. So I've got much better at using the phone since we moved into this house. Yeah. But I agree with you about letters. I have a friend who is just brilliant at sending postcards. So randomly, not postcards from holiday or anything, she just sends postcards, and they pop up at unpredictable moments, and they very often only have one or two sentences, but it's such a boost.
Yeah.
And especially because you don't know they're coming.
Yeah, that's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's a great thing that people can do, that we can do. Yeah. Yeah, really good. So, yeah, the plan was that you would be with us on Sunday. Physically, you can't be with us, but I wonder if you'd be able to bring the people of the Christchurch network a little bit of a word of encouragement, maybe kind of reflect on perhaps what you might have been speaking about on Easter Sunday, but obviously kind of, in a changed way, because we're in this kind of funny period. It feels like it's Holy Week and Holy Saturday kind of continually at the moment. And so I don't know, is there some encouragement you can bring us to encourage us to be resurrection people at this kind of time?
Lovely. Well, can I say sort of two main things about that? The first is this. It was I think I can't remember whether it was exactly the last time that I came, but when I came to be with you last year and to share worship with you, it wasn't all that long after I'd broken my shoulder.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And you were prompted by the Spirit to invite people to come and pray for me. There and then in the service, and then in those days we could lay hands on one another, and people laid hands on me and prayed, and I have had the most amazing recovery of movement in my shoulder. And I felt very profoundly moved on that occasion by the generosity and loving kindness of the community, literally reaching out to me. And the real flow of the power of God's Spirit
Yeah.
in you as a community that was blessing me in my body.
Right. Yeah.
So this is just a demonstration.
Wow.
Okay.
That's
The
great.
hospital said I would never be able to do more than just be at 45 degrees, and I can do perhaps not 90, but certainly 90, whatever, a couple of lesses than that. I can't prove that that's what made it happen, because I also worked hard on my exercises and all the rest of it, and lots of people were praying for me. But I do want to encourage you as a community that that power of the healing love of God is real, and I'm the bodily proof
Brilliant.
of that.
Yeah.
So please be encouraged, and for
Yeah.
your generosity to me.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. That's great. Yeah.
That's
That's a really
beautiful.
encouraging.
Thank you. Beautiful. And in a sense, that connects for me with what I've been pondering about coming up to this strange Easter time, because it's all very physical, isn't it? I mean, tomorrow, Maundy Thursday, if we were together, we would be washing one another's feet. And because we're church people, we would probably have washed our feet before we turned up, because we wouldn't want to be embarrassed. But the disciples weren't like that. Smelly, dirty. Jesus gets down on the floor, takes feet in his hands, washes them. And then through the whole agony and horror of his scourging, whipping, beating, and then being executed. It's not an idea, it's not just a picture on a wall. That's flesh being ripped. I mean, I find it very difficult to go there, even just in imagination. And then a corpse. It's body. It's all body stuff.
Yeah.
And we're very, very aware of our bodies at the moment. And you know, I found myself coughing the other day and saying to Frank, "It's just an ordinary cough. It's an ordinary cough." Just clearing my throat. Bodies are real, and they're a bit more scary in some ways. But you know, when one of those beautiful parts of John's Gospel that I've always found to be something that has kept me going in faith. It's in John 20. You know, where the disciples are frightened. They're well, more than frightened. They're just terrified out of their wits. So they lock themselves away. Huh. Now there's a connection for us at the moment, because there's a lot of fear around. I find in folk I'm in touch with, or just, you know, you see at the supermarket or the street, a lot of fear about, and we are locking ourselves away from one another. Jesus comes to the place where we're afraid. And what he does, this is the thing that just I love this. He shows them his hands and his side. And they're not clean hands, they're wounded. He shows them the wounds in his resurrected body. In other words, the resurrection isn't just wiping out all that bodily stuff and the agony. In his unstoppable life, he carries our bodily reality. And I find that tremendously strengthening.
Mm.
That it isn't all wiped away, that this risen Jesus carries your flesh, my flesh, ours into the resurrection.
Yeah.
So for me, it isn't just, oh, I wish it was Easter Day and we could get rid of all this horrid stuff. And I do wish that. but that's not real human life. And I've always found, Jesus is in our real human life, not a wipe away, oh, it's all lovely, but in the real stuff. And if that wasn't the case, then it would be very, very easily blown away.
Yeah.
Sorry, long warble, but it matters to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so helpful, because I think we have to see the context, and we have to see what's happening. We're locked away, and we're and yet the risen Jesus, with his scars, with those signs of suffering, meets us,
and he comes to where we are.
Yeah.
I know as the story of the resurrection unfolds, we are looking for him.
Yeah.
But actually, he's right there. He's right here. He turns up when we're not expecting him.
Yeah.
Well, when the disciples are not expecting him. He's on the beach.
Yeah.
He's cooking the breakfast. He's in the room where they're terrified.
Yes.
All of that.
Yeah. Yeah, that is so encouraging to think of. That equips us, that helps us to be able to be resurrection people in this time. That's fantastic. Thank you so much, and thank you for taking some time to do this for us, Bishop Alison. It's much appreciated. And I'm sure, just speaking on behalf of the people of Christchurch, the Christchurch Network, they would want me to remind you that we are praying for you, and we're praying for the other bishops and the senior staff of the diocese who are facing extraordinary challenges at the moment, in an extraordinary situation. So we will keep praying for you as well, and very much appreciate all that you bring to us and how you lead us. So thank you.
Well, thank you, Mark, and thank you for making this possible. Thank you for the precious, precious gift of those prayers. But it's the one thing I want to ask of you. Will you please get in touch as soon as ever you can, so we can rebook that time for baptism and confirmation?
Brilliant. We'll sort that, definitely.
Okay. The Lord be with you.
And also with you.
Thank you.